Now these flanks here, this stuff here, you can pick through it and peel away some of the meat from the fat and trim it up and get some more meat for your grind. I'm not going to bother filming me picking through all of that and bore you with all of that because it's kind of tedious. What I'm going to do right now is get right to the tenderloins here and show you how to harvest those out. I like to peel those flanks away. So what I want to do here, you have this layer of fat. I want to get this fat pulled away. I don't do a lot of cutting. I want to just peel it away from the meat and get it right out of there. This is another reason to use some caution when you're field dressing your deer. You don't want to be in there slicing away like crazy with your knife and mutilating your tenderloin. And also to use some caution with the bladder, because if you get the bladder opened up, again, you'll contaminate your tenderloin. There's not a lot of meat on these, but boy, they are tasty. Now, by pulling all those flanks away, it enables you to get right at these tenderloins instead of working in there like this. Okay? And then I'm just going to get them freed up. And then pull them from the carcass. And then we'll clean them up. These here are in a couple of roasts off of the rounds is all I'm going to take off the deer myself, and then I'm going to grind the rest. Alrighty, so we got the back straps and the tenderloins covered, and now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work on salvaging whatever meat I can off the carcass here, and then we'll move on to the rounds. Okay, we got the shoulder blades cleaned up, the neck done, the back straps and the tenderloin all taken care of. I went ahead and I picked all the meat I wanted off the rib cage here. I picked what I want off of it, and I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to hang this rib cage in a tree, and the chickadees and the woodpeckers will peck at this all winter long. And it gives my little feathered friends a nice little feast. They really enjoy it, they flock to it, and I like to see them enjoy it. So it's my way, you know, I take a lot off of the land, and it's my way of giving back a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off and work on the rounds. I'll make myself some room here. I don't want to. Yeah, give me a minute. I got to finish this up. I don't want to spill it. Yeah, that was tasty. So this section here, I'm going to lower it a little bit. Now, I can't overemphasize the importance here to avoid handling these tarsal glands. These tarsal glands, hunting season is during the rut, and the bucks and does are peeing on their tarsal glands. This is very, very strong. If you're not paying attention to what you're doing, you're handling that, you're going to transfer that strong tarsal flavor to your meat. It's very strong, very, very gamey. So if you end up handling that, just change your gloves, okay? Really avoid that. I'm going to cut these lower sections of the legs right off. That way I don't have to worry about handling those. All right, we got the hair pulled off of that. Now I'm just going to get right in here and separate the ball and the socket. I'm going to cut down through, and there'll be like a little wing bone here that I'll cut around. See, I'm hitting it now. It's going to follow. The knife's going to follow it. It's going to go right around it. See, as I was cutting down, I hit a bone. The blade just follows it, goes right around it. Come back, cut it off. And I'll just follow this part back down through. I'll repeat the process, I guess, over here. Just give it a push. You can start to see the ball right there. The ball is attached to the leg and the socket is on the spine. And see, once you cut through that, it gives and releases. I'm going to repeat the process on this side. Give it a little push, reveals that ball. Again, you don't want to be cutting on this side because that's attached to the leg. And remember, the ball is attached to the leg. You cut on this side of the ball, you'll cut that cartilage, free up that leg. Okay, now we want to have this in a 3-piece set here. We have some sections that have dried out and discolored. I'm going to go ahead and peel that off in a nice layer. Just like the rest of the deer, we're going to peel away any fat, make sure we don't have any hair, bullet trauma, anything like that. We're going to trim all of that stuff off because none of that is good table fare. There's a number of things that you can do with this round here. You can bone it all out. You can cube some of it. Grind it all up. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and cut that ball right off with my handsaw. It's not going to cut anywhere near as easy as a bandsaw, but I'm going to show you that you can get the job done. I want a nice thick pot roast I can throw in my Dutch oven and put on the coals. So I'm going to come back here, maybe a couple of inches. I feel the bone there. Slip my knife right around the bone. And an eyeball, trying to keep that fairly even 2 inches. Same thing here. Feel the bone, work my way right around the bone. Okay, now there's a nice pot roast. I'm just going to go ahead and slice this little bugger right off of there. You got a nice pot roast right there. Nice looking cut of meat. If you have a bandsaw, that's the ideal. Zip, 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 make your steaks. It'll look just like those ham steaks you buy in the store. But I like to have a nice pot roast like that. Put that in the old Dutch oven. Potatoes, carrots, and all of that. Let that bake in the coals all day. That's some good eats right there, folks. So I'm going to make one pot roast. I'm going to bone the rest out. But of course, you can do yours any way you want. So I'm going to go ahead and bone this out. And I'm going to treat this just like I did all the rest of it. I'm going to trim the fat the best I can. And anything that you have, this layer of membrane, you just put the membrane down and let your knife skin right across the top of it. Okay, got all the meat boned off of the hind quarter. And we got a nice tub of boned out meat here, plus a tub with the back straps and the roast and tenderloin and all those goodies there. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to the grind and get that ground and wrapped, and we've got one deer headed for the freezer. Okay, now it's time to move on to the grinding process. Now, as far as meat cutting equipment, the only real investment I have made, and it's been a very good investment, is in a good grinder. With these, you really get what you pay for. And the performance level between this and a cheapie is just no comparison. Now this grinder here I picked up from the LEM company. They sell similar ones in Cabela's, and it's been a very good investment. It'll spit out the grind as fast as I can feed it, and it's just been a wonderful tool. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I get the meat and the fat cubed up and start grinding. Okay, I've got all the stuff that was boned off of the deer, all cubed up into small pieces that will be easily fed into the grinder. You got pure white pork fat, all cubed up again, so I can mix it in as I'm going along. If you can't find pork fat, you can get a pork shoulder, some pork butt, or the cheapest cut of pork that you can find, and then bone it out and use that. But since it's a pork shoulder is going to be, of course, much more lean than straight white pork fat, you might want to add about a 40% pork to 60% venison ratio for your sausage. Now, I don't like lean sausage. I like to have my sausage nice and juicy. So when I'm grinding it with straight white pork fat, I will generally go about 25 to 30% pork to 70% meat ratio. And that'll give me a very nice consistency of the sausage I'm making. Now, what I have here is 10 pounds of grind, and that is the meat and fat mixed together. So I'm going to mix in enough seasonings to season 10 pounds. Now, what I'm using, you might be thinking I'm getting all commercial on you folks, but I'm not. I'm using Uncle Jim's blend. I've got the hot Italian and the homestead sausage. Now, this is a blend that we came up with ourselves. This is our own blend. What got us started in the business was I was making venison sausage, and I couldn't find a blend that didn't have MSG, BHA, and BHT in it. And it just seemed like a sin to take a wild animal and pollute it with all of that stuff. I did find one company that had a MSG-free blend of breakfast sausage, and I made a bunch of it, and it was horribly salty. All right, the dog didn't even want to eat it; he wanted to roll in it. Okay, so that was a big waste of my venison. So at that point, we decided we were going to try and blend our own, and it really wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. It took several tries, but we come up with a really good blend. The first blend was the homestead sausage. It's an all-occasion variety. It makes a wonderful breakfast sausage. We use it in stuffed cabbage rolls, nice sausage sandwich, and all of that. But it doesn't have a strong Italian flavor. So then we made the hot Italian and sweet Italian for those Italian dishes. And this has been a very good selling product for us, and it's what we use. And I'm going to go ahead and make up a batch right here. Now, since each packet does 5 pounds, I'm going to mix in 2 packs. And I like to get it all mixed in and then send it through the grinder, and that'll disperse that seasoning very nicely through the grind. Okay, one thing I highly recommend doing, especially when you're grinding something that's got a high fat content in it, like the sausage, once you mix your seasoning in with your fat, put it all in the freezer and leave it in there for a while till it really firms up. It gets to start to crystallize a little bit, but it's not quite yet frozen, and it'll chop up a lot easier in the grinder that way. If you let the meat get a little bit near room temperature, that fat gets soft and it'll really clogs up the holes in your grinding plate. Now, as I'm feeding this through, I like to pay attention to the color. If it starts to become too lean, I'll throw in a few cubes of fat. And if it starts to become too white, of course, I'll throw in more cubes of meat. I kind of go by color, and we all know what sausage looks like. We've all bought enough of it through the grocery store, and I like to have it fairly close to that consistency. Now, once I have all my meat ground up, and I start to put it into 1 pound packages, I find it works very good to take it and put it into these cheap little flapper type sandwich bags. That way I can get through all of that process, get my hands washed, and then put these into the paper. If I eliminate this process and put it directly into the paper, my hands are all sticky with meat residue, and it just makes a big mess, and the packages get all sticky, and it just doesn't work out. So this works out a heck of a lot better. So now that we have all this, we're going to switch over to the freezer paper, get it all wrapped up, and we got 1 deer all processed and put into the freezer. I like to collect all the fat from the animals I harvest, be it raccoons or beavers, or all the fat from this deer. And I put it in little cages, and then I hang it from the trees, and the woodpeckers and chickadees and nuthatches will dine on this all winter long, and they really flock to it on those below 0 days. So it's a nice way to utilize the animal. I really don't like to see anything going away.